Well, what is happening, Marvel fans? Welcome back to the channel. I am D-WIZZLE, and welcome to another edition of my podcast. If you guys are new to the channel, this is a channel talking about all the things in the world of movies. So if you guys love talking about film and enjoy what I do, I hope you strongly consider leaving that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. And hit that bell to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. Well, yeah, as I said, we are back talking about Marvel. It's been a minute, a real hot minute since we talked about Marvel. So yeah, glad to talk about it again. Um, so today we'll be talking about the first streaming service show of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll be talking about Wandavision. Finally, we're talking about Wandavision. Um, so we're just gonna be talking about the entire show in its entirety. I'm not. Usually I go episode by episode for the streaming shows, but I'm deciding this time we're not going to do that because there's. I think it's easier if we just sum up everything in just a whole general conversation. Because like with the first few episodes, it's like not a lot to say about it. So it's just going to be a general conversation about stuff we remember and stuff that stood out. So that's how it's going to go. But joining with me today, I have Yavin,
Yeah, hey,
and also we have Cree.
What's up?
and despite it being broken up in episodes, um, they're not episodes. Let's be real. It's just a long movie that got chopped up. So it definitely wouldn't make sense to review it episode by episode. I know other YouTubers who have been doing it that way as it's been going along, but it really is easier to just talk about it as one film.
That's actually one of the few things I agree with him on. If you guys remember, what was it? It was last year where Disney announced, or probably year before, I don't remember, but I think it was early 2020 when they announced that there was going to be a bunch of streaming service shows that will connect with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And when I first heard about it, I was interested in it, but at the same time I was really apprehensive about it because, for one thing, I thought, well, for one thing, I needed a break after Endgame, but Disney's like, we don't believe in breaks. We need to give you more and more and more. It's like we already got Spider-Man: Far From Home, and I did enjoy that, but I felt like did we really need it so soon after Endgame? No, but it happened, and then Black Widow was supposed to come out like I don't know 20 years ago, but there's a little thing called the pandemic that prevented it from happening, so a lot of stuff got pushed back. So I think that's part of the reason why Disney was like, we're going to push all these Marvel shows on Disney Plus, but I think that's also just something that they were trying to do to push the streaming service anyway. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. There's like a handful of stuff that I was interested in. I'll be honest, this was not one of them. I was not really looking forward to this that much. I don't know. I don't know. It just felt a bit unnecessary in my opinion. And the little that we got from the marketing of this show, I was like, I didn't know what to think. Like, there's this like weird sitcom-y stuff going on, and I was like, what is this? What's going on? But I was like open to seeing what happens with it. This was supposed to come out in December, but it ended up getting pushed back to January, which is not too much of a push. So we'll see what happens. And I think it was supposed to come out after Black Widow, because I didn't know if stuff was supposed to tie in with that much or not. But I guess not, because they still push back Black Widow. We'll see if Black Widow will actually come out this year. I doubt it at this point. And they kept saying that this was going to tie into stuff with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and I was like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. So, after watching the whole season, whatever you want to call it, what did I think about WandaVision? This show is weird. This show's extra weird. But you know what? I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'll say I think this is one of the more creative stuff that I've seen from the MCU in a while. Like this didn't really feel like anything we've seen from the MCU up until this point. For the most part, there's still some stuff in here that feels pretty familiar, but it's like, as far as the structure of the show, it's really, I don't know, it was really interesting. Like, I really liked it. And what really sold the show was the chemistry between Wanda and Vision. Like, that's the name of the show, is WandaVision. And it's like, I really like their chemistry, and like they really helped me buy into this, this whole show. Especially Wanda. Elizabeth Olsen, I really liked her in this show. But yeah, that's how I feel about WandaVision. Cree, tell us, what did you think about WandaVision?
It was different.
Yeah, sure is.
Towards the end, I really liked it because I'm a huge Scarlet Witch fan. I know it's not very common for people to, like, say that they're a Scarlet Witch fan, like an actual fan from the comics. And the fact that they brought out Agatha, it was nice. Because she's in the comics. I mean, they did it a different way, which I was a little disappointed, because she's supposed to be, like, Scarlet Witch's, like, teacher,
Mm-hmm.
But to see her there, the fact that they actually had the balls to bring her in, I don't think she's done. Which I really hope she's not done.
I don't think she's done.
I don't think she's done. I gotta say, like, Vision was one of my favorite parts of the show. Elizabeth Olsen is amazing. Her facial expressions, her acting, like, she's just great. She's really great.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, this is weird to say, I actually liked how much they acknowledged her, the fact that she is so traumatized from everything that's happened to her,
Mm-hmm.
That's what created the hex, was her grief. It just spilled over because Vision was the last good thing in her life. And then all of a sudden he's gone. So, one thing I was really confused about, though, when they introduced Agatha finally as Agatha, not Agnes,
Mm-hmm.
was it Agnes controlling people or Scarlet Witch? I feel like it was both.
That was the one thing I was confused about as well.
But at the same time, I feel like it was Agatha just making people think it was Wanda, to try and bring out the chaos and, like, the evil in her, like, because her magic is triggered by, like, the fight or flight type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
the fight or flight
Mm-hmm.
reactions.
Yeah.
Her magic is triggered from the flight. Or a fight reaction. She's trying to defend herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's triggered by chaos. Obviously, it's chaos magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's what Agatha was trying to do, and I really, really, really enjoyed that because I really, really like Agatha.
So it seems pretty fucking convenient.
Okay, it's my turn.
Cal.
My turn. My turn. This is my show now.
Oh, hold up there. Hold up there. Anyway.
Anyway, I was pretty disappointed. Any fan of Scarlet Witch and Vision in the comics would be disappointed with how they handled Scarlet Witch's sons. They were supposed to be like Mephisto in disguise.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they do that. I hope that they actually like end up doing that because of that little teaser we got at the end with the boys yelling for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they should have just said it already. They should have just done it already.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're going to introduce that in Doctor Strange, which would be nice. But,
Yeah.
you know, so anyway, I really liked Monica. Darcy is my favorite. I love her. I know you don't like Darcy, but I love Darcy. I thought it was really fun that they brought her back, and she's a doctor now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But, I mean, I like all of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
However, the show was a mess.
Oh.
I know, I was saying all of these great things about it.
So
The show
good.
was a mess. It was a mess. I don't think it flowed well at all. It was just like, bam, in your face, bam, in your face, bam, in your face. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I really enjoyed it, and I think that they somewhat pulled it together the last 2 episodes of the show. But at the same time, you have to, I'm in the middle. I don't know, do you say you really liked it?
I really liked it. Do I think it's
Yeah.
great? No, but God.
Evan doesn't like it, and I'm in the middle. I think it's a mess.
I don't completely dislike it, so I'm like sort of in the middle of hating it and
Just disliking it.
being in the middle.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm sort of like
All right, well, I'm in the middle of both of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because individually, I really liked all the characters. How they did the TV thing, yikes.
Yikes.
It was like, in your face, in your face. I just wish it would have flowed a little better. And like this whole time, she's acting like she doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You know? But she knows what's going on.
Yeah. That was very, very confusing. They were not clear.
They're not clear on
Clear
who's
with
controlling everybody.
And we even see that they have cameras. Like,
Yeah.
come on, she's not an idiot. She knows that stuff is being filmed. She created the hacks. That was something that really bothered me. Is I know Agatha is kind of pulling the strings, without her fully knowing it, but it was not clear what Wanda was choosing to do and what Wanda was doing because of Agatha.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
So the show as a whole was a mess. The dialogue was horrendous. Half the time. It was horrendous.
I was trying to do the cheesy sitcom dialogue.
Which doesn't work with serious characters like Vision and Wanda.
I mean, it was nice at first, because it was sort of like this novelty type thing. To be like, oh, look at us, we're in this cheesy sitcom. So I got a kick out of it at first. But even when they got to the serious stuff, they kept coming back to the cheesy stuff.
Yeah, like
It's
the Modern Family type.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Modern Family type, breaking the fourth wall. Okay, it's still my turn.
Yeah.
So, hold on. It's still my turn.
I
I'm almost done.
I'm so
I don't even know
sorry.
whose turn it is at this point. Y'all are just
Have a lot to
blending
say.
together. But anyway.
We do that. We're married.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens. And we watched it together, so it's like
Yeah.
some of our opinions are gonna. We already talked about it somewhat, so some of our opinions are gonna mesh.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually kind of liked how they did the Modern Family breaking the fourth wall type of thing. When she was super depressed, she was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. I felt that. I'm a mom. I felt that. And I really like Modern Family. I thought that was clever, how they went from decade to decade to decade, how they did TV in each of those decades, it did not flow. And that was my problem. It did not flow. It was just like they could have made this season longer. Because it was just like I know every single episode was supposed to be a different decade, but it was just like, okay, what decade are we in? What are we doing? Like, what is going on?
And
I couldn't tell.
Aging.
Well, of course they're not aging.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
But despite it being a mess, and I did not like what they did with Sword.
Sword.
Yeah. Shield. Sword.
Like, what the hell?
It was a Sword actual
Yeah.
in the comics.
It
They
is.
Make that up.
No.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
just
still funny.
yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
I don't give a shit
What if you have
about
a
Sword.
Pokemon game now? Like, Sword and Shield?
Sword and Shield.
We're a Pokemon game, guys.
Mhm.
But anyway, so Sword, they could have gone more in depth with them, because I had to explain to this guy what they were.
Mhm.
They needed to explain more, like, what they were doing. I had no fucking clue what they were gonna do with Vision. What were they even gonna do with the new Vision?
Oh yeah,
Still
they
don't know what
and
they're doing.
and
Well,
how
yeah,
are they
fucking know.
how are they
don't
just
know.
yeah, and then
You can't just do that. You can't just create a whole nother Vision, traumatize his significant other by showing her that you're like you're defiling him. You're defying his wishes. You're defiling his body. Like, he didn't want to be brought back. He didn't want to be used as a weapon.
mhm.
And are they using him as a weapon? I mean, did they just make him to track down Wanda? I mean, that's a lot of money wasted.
Then how are they just sufficiently able to create a
Because he
white
was-
Vision? Like, it does like
It doesn't make any sense. So I feel like everything with Sword should just be disregarded, except Darcy and Monica.
And you know what
And
sucks
Wu.
is I enjoyed Darcy. I think she's funny.
She was
I
underused.
I liked her in the Thor films too. But yeah, they try and be like, oh look, Darcy's important now. Yeah, for like 2 episodes, and then she gets lost in the shuffle. It's like, what was the point?
No. So anyway, my final word on WandaVision is I really enjoyed the characters. The dialogue was shit half the time. And the serious stuff did not feel serious because Marvel did their thing. They think that they're going to be all about comedy. Oh, look at us. We're so good at comedy, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't fucking work with every single Marvel character. It worked with Tony. Okay? But that's it. It works with Thor because he's sassy in the comics too, and he's kind of ridiculous in the comics. It doesn't work with anybody else.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
You can't make Scarlet Witch funny.
I think
Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, them too.
but not every Avenger.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm very 50-50. And I don't think you were expecting that, Dwayne.
No, and honestly, after you guys talking about this with me, I'm starting to like it less now. Because I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, like,
Sorry.
whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There are some definite, like, problems with the show. And I was going in it super pumped because I'm a Scarlet Witch fan. So it's not like I was a downer from the beginning. I was loving it. And then halfway through the first episode, I'm like, oh no. Here we go, Marvel.
Ooh.
Wait, I'm done now.
Sort of to piggyback off of some of that, my problem is the show felt too gimmicky.
Yes.
Obviously, they're trying to do something unique. I understand that. Do that. But it gets to a point where you just keep the gimmick thing going for too long without giving us enough solid information about what's actually going on.
Yes.
With all of these plot holes that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
For anybody that likes the comic books, or that likes Scarlet Witch in the comic books, the show was kind of annoying. I did look forward to it every week because I really wanted them to explain things, and I really wanted to see where it was going. I was very disappointed with the ending.
Oh yeah, the final episode was very disappointing. I mean, it was very cool to see them fight.
It was heartfelt too. I liked that it was heartfelt, but it was very disappointing.
But there was no conclusion. There was no resolution,
It's
really.
not supposed to be, is there?
I don't know. All they tell us is that this is supposed to lead into Doctor Strange. That's all the expectations they gave for us.
Yeah, because Wanda's going to be in Doctor Strange, and now after seeing this show, I will be shocked if Agatha's not in it as well.
Yeah.
And that's another problem I had, though. It's not clear what happened to Agatha at the end of the show. Yeah. Wanda...
Oh, sorry, can I interrupt for 2 seconds?
Okay.
Oh, it's my time now?
Okay.
I almost, peed my pants. I was so excited when they showed her comic book self. When Wanda saw her comic book costume, and then when she put on the comic book accurate costume, I was like, oh man! Oh man!
Again, I was like, there is no way they'll be able to do the comic accurate costume of Scarlet Witch, and then there it was, and she looked awesome. Oh my god!
She was glorious.
Oh, you know what? At this point, I believe you can adapt any ridiculous costume. At this point, put Wolverine in the yellow and blue spandex. Let's see how it looks.
No,
Let's do it.
No, that's one where I'm like, nah.
But they showed it in the Wolverine. They showed the costume, and it looked modernized. I think it would have been cool. I wanted to see Hugh Jackman wear it, and then we never got it. It was just a cock tease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fox is so modest with their costumes, and I hate it. But yeah, if you made the Aquaman costume cool, and then you made this look cool, there's no excuse at this point. There's no excuse. You can do it. But yeah. Anyway, continue with your thoughts, Evan.
Okay, well, big problem for me was we don't know what happened to Agatha at the end of the show. So Wanda makes her Wanda's controlling her mind, made her go back to her fake nosy neighbor self. But the hex came down. So what? Everyone is just back to normal except for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, she was never controlling Agatha in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
So.
But now she is.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that mighty convenient that where Wanda decides to put up the hex, there just happens to be another powerful witch in there?
No, because she's been trying to find Wanda's magic for hundreds of years.
And she happens to just be in the right place at the right time when that hex goes up.
She's tracking her. I'm sure she saw Wanda on the news. She's an Avenger.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was about to make this really funny joke. MCU stands for Mighty Convenient Universe.
It's damn true.
Anyway.
But my favorite part of the series is episode 8, Wanda's backstory. That is the best part.
That was really good. Yeah. That was really good.
Again, Elizabeth Olsen coming at us with all of the feels.
Mm-hmm.
All the emotions.
Yeah. And actually,
happy, depressed, traumatized.
It actually made me appreciate more some of the stuff from Age of Ultron with doing that. So, yeah, that was great. So I will,
Sorry, real quick. Last thing, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Evan Peters was fucking wasted.
Oh, yeah.
Why did they do that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Evan Peters.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was so excited. I knew he wasn't actually going to be her brother. I knew it. Some part of me knew it.
Yeah.
I didn't know why though. I thought it might have been Sword sending a guy in or something that
mm-hmm,
looked like Pietro or something.
mm-hmm.
But Wanda would know her own brother. That's why I was so confused.
And we already know that Aaron Taylor Johnson, is her brother.
Yeah.
For the MCU. But
so then people were freaking out because we were meshing like Fox, right? Fox
Yeah.
and
yeah, well, really, it's just more of like an Easter egg, like a nod. It's not actually the Quicksilver from Fox's universe. It's just some guy who Agnes gave powers to, to
which
be
pissed me
to
off.
mislead her into thinking that it's Quicksilver. I mean, yeah, that's not like exactly satisfying, but it was still cleverly done, and it was nice to. It was nice for me to see Evan Peters again in Quicksilver, just because of how fucking utterly wasted he was in Dark Phoenix. So he got one last chance to play the role, even though yes, he didn't have a ton to do, but it was still nice to see him one more time.
See, I mean, I agree with you on that. I was happy to see him, but I also hated that. I hated that. First of all, I didn't even think they were going to bring Evan Peters into this. And they were friends of ours that said that was going to be a possibility. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And then when he showed up, I'm like, I owe them money because you were right. And I was thinking, if this was actually the Quicksilver from the Fox universe, and they keep saying that it's going to build to the multiverse of madness, this would have been a perfect thing to transition us into the multiverse of madness. If you had the Fox Quicksilver be actually the Fox Quicksilver and interacting with Wanda, but it's like, no, they copped out on that. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? We're just digging around, like with the whole multiverse theory. Like, what are we doing?
That's another thing, though.
Hmm?
Why didn't Doctor Strange know that Agatha existed?
Or they're gonna,
Isn't he supposed to keep track of all magic on the Earth?
Yes.
or they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna pull some bullshit in the second Doctor Strange and be like, "Oh yeah, I've been tracking her for some time. I just never mentioned it."
Oh
Why did
God.
you push Shatner like that? Son of a fucking Shatner.
I don't know.
I thought that sounded like Connery. It was like, I've been trucking her for a long time. But that actually may be a thing, and I'll hate that too. Don't just say, oh, I've been tracking her for a long time and I can't find her. You're the Sorcerer Supreme, god damn it! Like, you're supposed to know this
Look,
stuff.
science it in. I've never mentioned it before, but yeah, I knew about her. Tie-in.
Oh my god. Oh man. So yeah, I was really
gonna team up with Steve Strange, and they're gonna hunt her. That's gonna be a part of the movie.
and
That's
then
my guess.
yeah, and then even if they're not gonna make him the actual Quicksilver, why didn't they bring back Aaron Taylor Johnson for a scene? For
If
a scene.
he was gonna be real Quicksilver, I feel like they would have. But because that was the whole thing, is that it was just fake. I think that's why they said, okay, we can get away with using Evan Peters, and the fans will love it.
I mean, we're getting a little off track, but still, it's really irritating.
Yeah, we're already off track, so I was like, I would just add on top of that. But yeah. So as I was saying, like, I think I will slightly disagree with you on the sitcom stuff because I guess I enjoyed that stuff more than you guys did. Honestly, when they started to get into the real world stuff, that's where I was like, okay, now we're starting to get to some familiar stuff with the MCU that I'm not digging as much. But even the real world stuff I didn't think was that bad this time. But yeah, the sitcom stuff, like I said, that's part of the stuff that I think that was really unique about the show. Is it anything groundbreaking? Not exactly, but it's like I don't know, with them doing the whole sitcom thing, it just made it feel much more mysterious and just off-putting. Like I felt like I was watching episodes of the Twilight Zone and stuff like that. It I legit thought the stuff was funny, and at the same time I felt uneasy and some unpleasantness, and I think that was what they were going for. So I thought that was pretty effective. And like I said, the chemistry with Vision and Wanda were so good with those sitcom stuff that I didn't mind them doing it as long as they did. And just let you know, I think they started with the 50s and then they ended with the 2000s. So I guess like this age, so 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I kind of got confused with the 90s and 2000s one because they both seem really similar. But and I liked that with each sitcom episode, you start to get some like certain hints that some things were off. Like I didn't want to get all the answers right away. I like that they were giving like subliminal stuff happening here and there. Like stuff was felt off, or Wanda was like feeling something strange, and then the whole the sitcom world would just rewind if something felt off or whatever, and then like Vision starting to feel like something was really strange. Like I just really like that overarching atmosphere of like something is not right, and it's like I was going along with it, you know, with the gradual build up of like figuring out what is happening. So when we started to get answers, I'll admit that's when I was like, okay, that's not as satisfying as I thought it would be. And plus, like as you guys said, like this not consistent with who's responsible for what. So we think it's Wanda, but it's actually Agatha, but then it's Wanda again, and then it's like honestly, I mean, I know people who are excited to see Agatha in this, but part of me was even thinking, did we really need Agatha in this show? I don't know about that. Oh, and I know Creed's getting angry with that, but like, I'm serious. Like, other than the stuff that happens at the end, the whole confrontation and stuff like that, was that really necessary for her to play that big of a factor with Wanda's stuff? Not really. I'll be real with you. Like, I don't know that much about Agatha Harkness. I'm going to be honest. That's where my comic knowledge stops. So when everyone was like, "Oh, Agatha Harkness, it's Agatha Harkness," and I was like, "I don't know who that is. Who the fuck is that?"
Research your shit.
I think,
Do some research, you prick.
well, if we're talking about what doesn't belong, I think it's that.
You don't belong.
I think it's that that asshole in Sword who was like manipulating Wanda.
Oh my god,
that fucker.
he was so bad.
Taylor.
Yeah, he was horrible.
I hated him. That's why I just generalized everything in Sword.
That's where it sort of gets convoluted, because it's like, you know, Wanda's doing some stuff, but then Agatha's doing some stuff, but then Sword is also, that guy in Sword is also like trying to manipulate Wanda. So it's like, who's doing what? It's not exactly spelled out very clearly.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say I appreciated the misleading thing that they did, where we think Wanda took Vision's body, but then later on we see, you know, the full flashback where she where she actually didn't take the body, but he was just talking to her and basically planting the idea in her head that Vision could
Come back if she helped them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got their powers from the same Infinity Stone, right?
Yes.
Mind Stone? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they use this new white Vision. Why is he white? And
comics.
We don't even find out.
He's pure.
Define pure.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
No.
Honestly, I don't know why. Because he's There's a White Vision in the comic books, so there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a White Walker Vision.
He's the White Walker.
And then we never...
Somebody get the dragons.
That's another
The dragons.
We don't know what happens to him in the final episode. He just flies off and that's it.
Yeah, that was really underwhelming and unsatisfying.
That was bullshit.
Did anyone else think, because I was confused too, did anyone think that the quote-unquote real Vision implanted his memories into that White Vision so he can still be alive when Wanda puts everything back to normal? I thought that's where they were going, but they don't.
And that would be such a cop-out, too. Be like, oh, look, we brought Vision back. We gave him his memories.
No, I mean, he did give the White Vision his memories.
Yeah, though. I know. I'm just saying that's a real cop-out of, like, having him die in Infinity War.
Yeah, and you know what? I would be really pissed off about that if they did something like that because Vision died so selflessly.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it was so heroic that, like, if they brought him back, it would be a disservice to the character. I wouldn't be excited about that.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed.
It's such a stupid way to bring him back.
And I think Wanda would be pissed. I think realistically, now that she's taken a step back and said, okay, Vision gave himself up for the greater good. He didn't want to be brought back. I shouldn't have done this. You know, she already said that she shouldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think realistically, if White Vision came to her and said, I'm Vision, I'm back, blah, 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 I think she'd be pissed.
Especially when they had their goodbye, when the Hex was coming down.
Oh, that made me cry.
Having their goodbye. That was a
Yeah.
great scene. But,
and the kids, too.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that was beautiful.
Very nice. But then, yeah, they try and have this real Vision back, that's self-defeating. Because then you're going against what you just... all the character development that she just went through of letting him go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are you trying to do right now?
Yeah, she's trying to heal, and you're trying to bring her more pain.
That's one of my issues with the MCU now after the Infinity Saga ended, because not only with this show, but like with some of the other streaming service shows and even some of the movies that are going to come out, it feels like when it comes to sacrifices and deaths and all this stuff, it feels like most of this stuff doesn't matter because they're just going to bring them back again. Like, does any death matter in the MCU? Like, I'm really frustrated about this. I'm still not excited for Black Widow because she died in Infinity War. So why are you trying to bring her back to get some sort of glory from her? Why are we getting a Loki show? I'm pissed about that Loki show. I know people are excited about it, but I don't want it at all.
At all, because he escaped in Endgame, so therefore that's when it's taking place, since he escaped, in that little part of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then shows happen.
Yep. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier is making me nervous because certain theories about Captain America coming back some way or I don't know. And then I swear to God, if they try to bring back Tony, I swear to God, I'm not watching another Marvel thing ever again.
I'm 100% with you. If they try to bring back Tony Stark, we are boycotting Marvel.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry,
and we're
man.
the ones.
Yeah.
It's like, it was so upsetting that he died, but it was so perfectly done. Don't touch it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like... So yeah, I hope they don't bring back Vision, and I don't know what's going to happen with that White Vision, if that's ever going to be brought back again. It might.
It's a loose end.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I want to talk about Kat Dennings, Randall Park, and Teyonah Parris. So as I said, I don't like Kat Dennings in the MCU, but surprisingly enough, I actually liked her in this show. She actually wasn't annoying, and so her jokes actually worked in this show. So I was like really surprised.
I think you liked her better this time because she was actually useful.
That too.
Because let's be real, in the Thor movies, she's not very useful.
No.
She's just kind of the comedic relief.
She's just the annoying friend.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's nice to actually see her being a scientist and actually, helping with all the stuff going on. And the same thing with Randall Park from the Ant-Man movies. I didn't like him in those either, but he was actually pretty good in this as well. He wasn't like a bumbling idiot the entire time. So,
Yeah, he was alright. I'm not the hugest Randall Park fan.
I mean, I'm not either,
I
but
I really like Randall Park as an actor.
mhm.
I think he's serious in Always Be My Maybe, which is one of my new favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, he was good in that.
But he didn't need to be there.
Oh, of course they didn't. None of these characters need to be there, but it's a cinematic universe, so they got to bring some characters back.
But why him?
Because they're trying to do the new comedic duo with Darcy and him.
Why didn't they bring Doctor Strange into this show? You have two powerful magic wielders in one spot. If any MCU character needed to be brought into this fucking show, it was Doctor Strange. If not, just for one episode.
They probably
There's
were
two
afraid that
reasons.
He was going to do everything.
I think there's two reasons. One, if Doctor Strange made an appearance in that show, he would take over the whole thing. And then two, if Doctor Strange appeared on this show, the conflict would have ended a whole lot quicker. So, that's two reasons I think.
Because he wouldn't have been able to get into the hex.
You don't think he'll be able to get into the hex?
No. Chaos magic is way too unstable. I don't think he would have been able to get in there. And I think he would have told them not to try. To be honest with you. I think that's exactly what he would have done.
Well, yeah, they also don't want him in the show because they're waiting on that for the second Doctor Strange movie.
I know, but at the same time, you're bringing in all these characters that don't fucking matter to anybody.
Yeah.
Like Sword.
Like, you are really scratching the bottom of the barrel, Marvel. On top of Shang-Chi and Eternals.
Taylor's compensating for something.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of scraping the bottom of the barrel, are you guys even excited for Eternals and Shang-Chi?
No.
Eternals, yes. Shang-Chi, no.
I don't know.
Nobody knows who he is.
I don't know shit about either. I mean, I'm still going to see him because it's MCU, so I got to see it. But it's like,
Why is he even in these?
I could not give a fuck.
Why is he even in these?
Look, I'll admit.
He's a casual.
Look, I'll admit, I don't know that much about Shang-Chi either. Or Eternals, minuscule. That's where my Marvel knowledge stops at that point. Because I'm more of a DC fan than Marvel, so it's like, yeah, I didn't get deep into that. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, Monica Rambeau. She was so good in this show.
She was also wasted. She was wasted.
Damn.
The fuck are you talking about? She could have tore Agatha's ass apart, okay?
Actually,
They
yeah.
wasted her.
Yeah.
What? You're really gonna try and convince me that Monica fucking Rambeau was held in fake Quicksilver's bedroom for 2 episodes.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
Or 1 episode, or whatever.
That was bullshit.
Bullshit. She controls electromagnetic energy.
Mm-hmm.
She could have just blasted his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then blasted Agatha's ass. And then talked to Scarlet Witch and been like, bitch, listen, this is wrong. You need to take down the hex. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. And then everything would have been good. They fucking wasted her.
Mm-hmm.
Another problem I have is Wanda even gonna have any sort of consequences for putting up the hex? I mean,
Probably
I know
not.
Agatha was manipulating her, but Wanda was still the one to put it up. Are they really gonna say, "Oh yeah, it's okay, Wanda. It's not your fault at all. It's all Agnes's fault." Agatha's fault. You know, it's like our sword shield, you know, and Sokovian Accords, whoever, you know, are they all gonna accept that?
First of all, the Sokovian Accords are not a being.
I know.
The Sokovian Accords are just.
I'm just saying, are the
laws.
other governments really gonna accept
There you
that? No.
No. And like I would have almost accepted that if they leaned more towards Scarlet Witch's like her slightly evil side, because she does have a slightly evil side. So it's like if they pushed that more, I would have accepted her just going away without any consequences, because like she don't give a shit about anything. I was like, okay, fine. But they're still trying to be like, oh, she's like this, she still has a heart of gold somewhat, and you know, and I'm just like, come on, y'all. Like,
So it's really gonna bother me if she doesn't get in trouble at all.
yeah, it's Captain America Civil War all over again. It's like there's no consequences with them doing this, you know? So it's like,
But then, yeah, suddenly blows up part of that building and everyone freaks the fuck out.
oh, but when she creates this giant field and mind controlling people for I don't know how long, everything's fine. Nothing matters.
It's okay. It's your fault. It's not your fault, Wanda.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
take into account, this takes place, what, like 2 weeks after the second snap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
A week? A couple of days?
yeah.
So the government's in fucking shambles right now. First of all. And second, she saved the whole world. So,
Hmm.
I think I'm not making excuses for it because it is kind of bullshit. But you gotta take that into account as well. Sword is acting because the government is in shambles. All of these people are coming back that were pronounced dead. Think about everything that the government has to do right now.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't think she is their top priority. Because did she really hurt anyone?
No,
No.
no.
She manipulated them, yes. But did she hurt anybody? Did she kill anybody? No. And what I was saying to Evan when we were watching it is, to be honest with you, her version of, what is it called, Westview, right?
Yeah.
Her version of Westview, she improved it. She improved everybody's lives there. Look how shitty it was when she first got there.
It was really run down.
And all of those businesses were closed, and in her reality, she made everybody's lives better. Because she wanted to have a happy, peaceful life. She didn't hurt anybody.
Hmm.
Should she have a trial? Yes. Probably. Is it gonna do anything? No. She didn't hurt anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anybody needs to be arrested, it's fucking Director Taylor, which I'm so glad he was at the end.
Yeah, thank God.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about Monica. Even though, yeah, I agree she was wasted in this movie. Show. No, it feels like a long movie. It's a long movie. Okay, but I didn't even realize that was her the first couple episodes. Like it took me a minute to realize, like, oh wait, that's the daughter of Maria from Captain Marvel, and I was like, oh sweet. And then they were doing little teases of her powers, and I was like, oh yeah, we're about to get it, and we don't. That was the biggest blue ball ever. Jesus.
Did you remember my reaction? I was like, oh, here we go, here we go, here we go.
And then
And then I
no,
was like, oh.
stuck in a room with fake Quicksilver, Ralph Boner. Ralph Boner. Like really?
I'm like, come on, Marvel.
Oh gosh. But you know, we guess we gotta wait till Captain Marvel 2 to see her actually use her powers stuff. So we'll see about that. Yeah, I did like the kids, Tommy and Billy. I thought they were really good. I'm glad that they actually named them after their actual kids from the comic books. So that's a nice touch. And I like their powers as well. Um, yeah, just the whole family, the little family dynamic we got with them and Vision and Wanda, I thought were really good. Like, yeah, just all the family dynamic stuff was some of the better parts of the movie. And then, yeah, I mean, I think we covered the most of it, really. I mean, yeah, the fight scene towards the end was pretty cool with Agatha versus Wanda. That was pretty cool, and Vision versus White Vision. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, guess that's pretty
I mean,
much.
the last two episodes were the best episodes of the whole series.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I did. I've been hearing a lot of theories about Mephisto and Ultron coming back and blah 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 blah, and like I wasn't trying to give any heedance to those theories because it's like anything could happen with Marvel because they don't give us everything we want all the time. So I was like I'm just was willing to sit back and see what happens. But it would have made more sense if they try to utilize some of those theories that we heard about. As I said, the Mephisto stuff would have made more sense with the kids and all.
Well,
Huh?
because Mephisto is not a theory. He's got to show up sometime. If they're gonna bring the kids back for Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
that's the most likely thing. Is that they're supposed to be part of Mephisto.
Yeah. So hopefully, yeah, in the multiverse of madness, hopefully, maybe, we'll see. I don't know.
Well, Ultron coming back doesn't make any sense. Whoever said that needs to go fuck off.
Even though I would not mind them trying to do a second try at Ultron because the first try was not very good. But yeah, I don't see how that will make
Need to get a different actor for him if I'm gonna watch that shit again.
Just don't be cracking jokes and acting like a 12-year-old. That's all I ask. But yeah, and then there's even some rumors of Blackheart as well. I'm like, Blackheart? What?
What?
Yeah, people actually thought Blackheart might appear.
Who's saying that? What's the theory?
I don't know. They were just saying Blackheart.
Dead?
Some people on the internet, I forget who. Like, I think they were thinking they would play a similar role that Mephisto may play. Something like that. What? What are you talking about? Don't make any sense.
I wish they could see my face right now because I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. They saw the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game and was like, yeah, Blackheart. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, guys. All right.
Well, I think Mephisto and Blackheart definitely need a redo after a fucking Ghost Rider movie.
Oh, yeah, that was god awful.
Why didn't you bring?
Because both of them were in it.
Yeah, but you don't bring it up because it hurt.
Yeah. That was god awful. Jesus. So,
Who
yeah.
the fuck? Whose idea was it to cast Nicolas Cage?
They must have.
Whose fucking idea was that?
You're trying something weird.
Some stupid intern that was sick of getting coffee and he thought he had a shot.
It's like, yeah, you know what? Nick Cage is kind of hot right now, right? Let's cast him. He's off the National Treasure movies.
Really good actors that would have been great as Ghost Rider. We're busy.
It's okay. We got a good Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Speaking
Shut
of which,
up.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is way better than WandaVision. There's no competition.
Do I consider that a hot take?
I love Agents. And I don't think they'll give Agents enough credit because they have some really good stories and some good characters on there. And I would rather watch that easily over WandaVision.
That also suffers from the similar thing I'm complaining about, where they bring in characters back that should be dead because nothing matters in this fucking universe. Jesus. So, and then I think they're going to do an Agents of S.W.O.R.D. show at some point, and I'm like, why? Just why? Yeah, that's actually
What?
yeah, that's actually a thing. They can try to do Ages of Sword.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yep.
No, we're not speaking that into existence.
Someone better call Kevin Feige. It's like that's a bad idea, man. And he's like, nonsense.
Oh, I'll do. I call corporate offices all the time.
But yeah, if anybody wants a good Marvel show, like
I'm
check
just
out
kidding.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you haven't watched it already.
Not sponsored.
It's totally worth it.
Evan just sucks their dick, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I have heard good things about it, but you know, just the foundation that it's on. I'm just like I don't fully agree with it.
But I think we've pretty much covered the whole series.
Pretty much.
It was
Yeah.
pretty sloppy. It's messy.
Yeah.
I literally wrote out everything I was gonna say in this podcast. Like, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I slightly changing my grade halfway through. But yeah, overall I still don't dislike the show. I still had a good time with it, but yeah. It is a bit messy now that we're talking about details. It's huh?
It has a lot of problems. It had a lot of potential, and it did not show that.
No. And it's like with
That's
them
pretty-
yeah. And with them hyping so much that they're setting up for cooler things in the multiverse of madness, this is a really mediocre tease. If that's what they're trying to go for. Like, they should have just had it on its own merits. It's its own show. Don't give us so many expectations going in, and maybe we would have liked it a little bit better. But even as its own thing, it still has some writing issues and not so great payoffs. And it still suffers from certain Marvel tropes that they just need to grow out of. God, please stop doing the typical Marvel formula. Like, we're done. You've done 10 years of this weird ass Marvel comedy bullshit. Like, stop doing that. DC's about to creep up on your ass. And you're gonna be like, what are we gonna do when the Snyder Cut gets released? Like, y'all gonna be in trouble if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Now, I commend them for trying a little bit harder because the structure is not the common thing that the other movies were doing. They were trying something different towards the beginning, and I respect them for doing that. And I personally think that's some of the best parts of the show. But when we start getting into the meat of things, like, that's when stuff started to get a little convoluted. So, overall, I did like the performances. I did like the characters. I thought Wanda and Vision were the standouts of the movie. We were just gonna say it's a movie. They were the standouts. And Elizabeth Olsen really surprised me. I thought her performance specifically stood out a lot. But yeah, so I'm gonna give WandaVision a B. B minus.
You're generous.
Like I said, I still like the show. It's just it has props.
Well, I agree with you that the performances and the characters were good, but I can't get over the sloppy story and just the convoluted details that they just didn't bother to explain. And like you said, there's like next to no payoffs. It's just cliffhangers of, oh, get ready for the next thing. You gotta watch the next movie or the next show to find out what happens next. It's like you can't even tell us a complete story.
No, because everything is so episodic. You know, like these movies don't feel like they stand on their own. They feel like they just need to set up the bigger universe, and it's like, come on, just can you focus on just being your own thing for once? But
So for those reasons, I have to give it the grade of a C minus.
damn.
But it's below average. Marvel needs to get their shit together. This is not their best work.
Whew.
Wow, this is interesting. I am literally right in the middle of you guys. I give it a solid C. That's weird. I'm right in the middle. That's where I thought I'd be, actually. Right in the middle of you guys. Again, I enjoyed all the performances. The actors are phenomenal. It looked really cool. It had a lot of potential. They brought in Agatha Harkness, which I was like, yay! Because they had the balls to do that. And then she was great. She's the quirky, like, badass that I thought that she would be. She is a badass. I don't care what people say. And then, just the dynamic between, like, Wanda and Vision was just so sweet. I know he was fake. And I know he was technically a part of her, projected in this reality. But it was just so sweet.
You could say he was a vision of Wanda, a WandaVision.
No.
That was bad. No.
Evan.
That wasn't even clever.
Please excuse him. He thinks that his dad jokes are good. Anyway. I cannot get over Sword. They were bad. It was bad. Nothing made any sense. I'm only giving it a C because of the characters and because I did look forward to watching it every week to see what would happen because it was so outrageous. I wanted to give it a higher rating. I can't gloss over the fact that it didn't make sense. I still have so many questions. It answered none of my questions that I've had since the beginning of the series. And the dialogue was horrible. It was so bad.
Okay, I didn't think the dialogue was horrible.
Like, not all of it.
Yeah.
Some of it was good. Like 50% of it, especially the quote-unquote witty banter going back and, back and forth between characters. That's just so weird. I hate it when Marvel does that because it's supposed to be a serious thing. She's trapped 3,000 people. And Sword is trying to get them out. And then here's Randall Park being all, like, sassy, like, and trying to be funny. And Darcy's trying to be funny. I love her, but, I mean, that just didn't work. Nothing was funny about this. It was supposed to be serious and hardcore, and it wasn't. And I was disappointed. And I'm not going to watch it again. And that's...
Ooh!
I'm not watching it again.
I don't want to watch it again either.
I had a headache.
I'm good.
It gave me a literal headache.
There's nothing to revisit about this.
No. Because I already know it's not going to answer any of my questions.
Yeah.
And you know me, I can usually predict things that would happen. I couldn't with this show because it was just so off the walls fucking crazy. All the time. And I wanted to like it so bad.
I don't understand the people who are eating this shit up and saying it's so amazing. I don't get it.
Well, as I said, because it is so weird and off the walls and crazy, they're thinking this does feel unique compared to the other stuff in the MCU. Nobody's done this before. Like, so that's probably why they're eating it up. And like most of the people watching don't have the versive knowledge of Wanda and Agatha Harkness and the White Vision stuff or whatever. So it's like they're along for the ride. So I don't know. But hey, Marvel can do no wrong, right? Those commercials were funny. I love those commercials.
They were funny. They were clever.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
were clever.
Yeah, those
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, so one other thing that we just realized after we finished recording this, we didn't talk about the two credit scenes at the end. Kree and Evan didn't really have much to say about them, but you know they were kind of cool, I guess. So I just want to mention them real quick. The first credit scene was Monica being brought to talk to one of the scrolls that were disguising themselves as agents of Sword. So one of the scrolls was giving Monica a message from Carol, Captain Marvel, who's on another part of the universe, or whatever. And I think they're calling her to action, I guess, trying to meet up with Captain Marvel, possibly. So I think that's setting up for Captain Marvel 2. So we'll see more of Monica, hopefully. If that's the case, I'd be really excited for that. And then the end credit scene was Wanda out in the forest somewhere at a cabin, and you see her trying to practice her her sorcery and her witch abilities, and reading the sorcery book that was Agatha Harkness's thing. And there's this cool shot of her cloning herself, like she clones herself, in her regular street clothes while she's practicing her sorcery in the other room, and she's wearing her Scarlet Witch outfit. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I guess that's setting up for Multiverse of Madness a little bit, I think. So probably there might be some payoff with that. But yeah, those credit scenes were pretty solid. But nothing too much to say about it. This feels like setup for the other movies, so we'll see how those things go in the future. But yeah, that's our thoughts on WandaVision. Most of you probably didn't expect this to happen. We started where we ended. I like the show more than everyone. Kree's in the middle, and Evan does not like it at all. So it's like interesting. But yeah, what did you guys think about WandaVision? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment below and let us know. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. And if you don't like our opinions, you can hit a thumbs down if you want. That's fine. And you can subscribe to the channel if you want to be updated on future videos I'll be doing. Don't forget to hit that bell. So, I guess the next thing Marvel that we'll be talking about is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's going to be premiering this week out of this recording, so tune in for that when we discuss it, and we will see if Black Widow will be released this year. Like I said, I doubt it, but
push it back again?
Hmm?
You think they're gonna push it back again?
I really don't know. If they push it back again, they killed the movie. They already kind of killed the movie. Like, nobody's talking about it anymore. They need to swallow their pride and put it on Disney Plus. If they feel like they can't release it, like they need to put it on Disney Plus. Or
just do the player route. Just do the theaters and premiere access. People can choose what they want.
That's the thing. They don't want to do the HBO Max thing for some reason. So I don't know. But anyway, that's all we have for you Marvel fans, and we will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.